Welcome back to day 2, and I'm really excited to see all of you here today. Most of you turned up on time. Thank you very, very much. And may I welcome you to keep your camera on, and we're going to start the class really, really soon, all right? So first thing first, I'd like to see you on the screen, and we're going to pay our greetings to one another. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, say hello! Welcome back. So good to see all of you back in action. Wow. Wow. And look at Fabian and with his beautiful kids. Wow. Hello, Fabian. Thank you very much. And please have your kids to join the class, One of the most beautiful things that we can do for our children is to teach them about money. It is a real topic. And this issue about money is what traditional parents avoid through their lives. They don't want to tell their children about money. And guess what? The children are left with no knowledge where to get started. And they learn all the wrong stuff out there. So I start at a very, very early age to get my children involved with money. And one of the best baptism of fire that you can put your child through is to get them to work for McDonald's. My kids have to work in McDonald's, let me tell you, all right? And they will be assigned different duties, from cleaning up the table, to taking the rubbish bin, to the clearing of the bin. And that's the most disgusting thing, according to both of my boys, to take the rubbish chute to the bin area and clear the bin. It is the most disgusting thing to them that they ever done in their lives. And of course, some of the customers at McDonald's are pretty nasty. They got their ketchup, chili sauce all over the table, and they got to clean up the mess. So at a very early age, they learn about the value of money, and that will spark them to start thinking about, hey, what do I want to do with my life? And one of the most surprising things I discovered about the new generation. Now, I belong to Gen X. I do not know about you. After me will be the millennials. And then after millennials will be the Gen Z. Zoomer generation. And my 3 boys literally grew up in the Zoom generation because they gone through the lockdown period. And they are born in the age range of the Gen Z. Now guess what they are thinking about today. Holy moly, guess what they're thinking about today. I got kind of inspired by Fabian and want to share with you how important it is to get your children the heads up. Remember I spoke about the 100-meter race yesterday, whether the starting point is at 100-meter mark, or the 50-meter mark, or the 95, at the 0-meter mark, 50-meter mark, or the 95-meter mark, and you just take one step, boom, you cross the line, right? So, this is what's happening right now. The child of today, they are looking around at their parents. And not only their parents, at their classmates' parents as well. And my 3 boys kind of very blessed. They go to very good schools. And some of the parents there are like crazy. They'll send their kids in Rolls Royce, Ferraris and all that. And at a very early age, like 16 years old birthday, they will throw a big birthday bash, like 50 tables, each table 10 participants. And according to my son, each table is like $3,000. Like per head is about $300 per head. And everything hosted for free. That is the new generation that they come from. So I want you to know, when your child goes through this kind of peer pressure, they've seen someone richer, faster, bigger, and all that around them, how do they hold their ground? What is their ground truth? Because the ground truth is the one that will let them stand up tall and proud and be confident about the future. So the ground truth for us is very simple. All of my 3 boys, I always get all of their friends to come to my house. And I don't live like in a big exorbitant house. I live in a kind of a interesting house. The kids love to come to my house because this is the place that they will set fire in the garden. They'll jump into the pool. They'll do all kinds of funny things in my house. And I say, oh, whatever you want to do, carry on, all right? And they have, I think, the best childhood memories in my house. My house is the holding area for children to have fun. So that is the ground truth of happiness. It's not about money, about happiness, about able to do the things that you truly desire. So yesterday we completed day one, and I wanted to make sure you don't leave off day one without completing the finishing line. And I want to show you the finishing line right now in the graphic form. And as I show it to you, I want you to like kind of take picture and making sure you know what's going on. And then you can really plan this out. We call this the finishing line, the retirement plan, or the financial freedom target. Here we go. This is exactly what I wanted to show you yesterday. You have a target to become a millionaire. And we're going to talk about becoming a millionaire, like very, very open discussion, all right? Nothing to shy away from. And of course, this value here that I put it up here is US $1 million. And typically I go for US currency, all right? Now, how it plans out is very, very interesting, because what it says over here is the moment you take on this product called $1 million product, from year 2 onwards, you're going to get paid $20,000 every year. All right? And then the beauty is, from year 5 onwards, you're going to get paid $37,500 every year. And the moment once it crosses 21 years, you're going to get paid $43,500 every year, continuous payment till the day you go to heaven. But it doesn't stop there, because this product is pledged on the life of your child to have a longer mortality rate, a longer runway to max out the true value of this product. All right, so let me just scroll down right here. And how do we go about playing this game? All right, this to me is called a game. And the premium financing that's shown in front of you goes this way, right? So step 1, you have a cash, hang on a minute, let me just zoom out a little bit. And kind of the screen got sensitive and kicked me out. One more time. So step 1, you have a premium financing. Oh, sorry, I keep clicking the wrong thing. One more time, hang on a minute. I know where I clicked wrong already. Right over here. One more time, step 1. Here we go. All right. You have, all right. Hang on, one more step. Okay, here we go. Step 1. And, Step 1. And here we go. It's going to make it bigger. All right, now it's really super big already. So here we go. Step 1. This is the cash outlay I'm talking about. So truly, most people misunderstand that. They thought that to become a millionaire, you must have $1 million cash. Now, of course, that would be ideal, but I want to show you a much faster way to get to the finishing line. And for day 2, we're going to really kind of carve out the plan to reach there. So what happens in this unique product is that you start off with a cash of $280,000. This is cash, all right? And what will happen is that the bank will loan you the other $720,000. So in all, when you add up these two numbers, you hit $1 million, all right? So this is like the step 1. Then typically the question is, hey teacher, why would the bank lend me $720,000? Now, first thing first, you don't have to worry about the bankers. The moment they create this product, they have already made money the moment you buy it from them. Now, so it's a combination of insurance, it's a combination of life planning, together with the bank loan facility they package it together, they have already made money the moment you bought from them, all right? What is important is to understand from our perspective. So this $720,000, you are paying an interest rate of 0.65%, all right? Now, this interest, all in, is already taken care of by the yearly collection that you have collected from the bank. So take for example here, remember we started off in year 2 to year 4, you collected 20,000, and after deducting the interest that you paid for the bank giving you a loan of 720,000, the net that you collect is $15,000. And then you go on down for year 5 to year 20, the net you collect is 32,000. 21 years onwards, the net you collect is $38,820. Now this is US dollars. All right? And you go and multiply against your own currency. If it's Malaysia, I think multiply by, I don't know, I think by 4. Singapore multiply by 1.3. I'm not too sure what's the exchange rate right now, right? So this is the amount cash coming in every year, but it doesn't stop there. They continue to pay you and your child till your child goes to heaven. That's your second generation, and by the time your grandchild will inherit a lump sum cash. Now, all in, you say, hey teacher, the return doesn't seem great, because the return over a 35 years period, you are generating about 16.48% per annum. Now, if you benchmark this 16.48% per annum, you are kind of close to achieving the returns of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is doing about 20% per year for the last 50 years compounded, all right? So, if you look at this, in fact, all that you really work hard on is just the first step, which is this amount. This is the real step 1. And you set off 3 generations of freedom with a single step. And this product is the only product found in the world right here in Singapore. All right? So I want to give you some clarity about this, and quite a number of students of our very, very own Spiking students, you know, in each of our classes, I'll share about this financial freedom finishing line. And quite a number of them bought from the bank. And say, wow, teacher, I kind of free up my mind. I kind of settled this part of my life, my child, my children taken care of. Boom, I move on to do the next thing. Now, this is one of the ways that you can think about it. Another way is you are doing financial planning for yourself, because you get paid first as the first generation, and you're also doing the financial planning for your second generation, your direct children, and your third generation, your grandchildren, all right? So one shot takes care of 3 generations. Now, some of you are asking like, hey, is this applicable to foreigners? Yes. The only thing is you have to fly into Singapore and buy this product in the country, all right? So that's the unique thing about the banking rules. They require foreign customers fly in and buy the product here, and then you can fly back and they'll send you the money, all right? I think that's what I know from them. So quite a number of our students, local Singaporeans as well as foreigners, took up this planning, and that takes care of one major part of their lives. Now, I am probably the first guy in the country to buy this product. I bought 3. One for each of my son. I got 3 boys, all right? So I take care, son 1, son 2, son 3, take care already. And I say, free up. And in actual fact, I multiply by 3 the annual amount that's coming in to me. That's the sum I collect every year, all right? So in actual fact, I'm taking care of myself and my wife's retirement, and you are free to pursue other interesting things in life. I want to start off day 2 by sharing with you, you know, this year for me, I'll be celebrating my 49th birthday. Next year, I'll be turning 50 years old. And I'm going to restart my YouTube series very, very soon, just counting down 50 years old. And I'm going through this phase of my life, planning the second phase of my life. I believe that the first 50 years I go out there, accumulate all the experiences, all the money that I want to make, and then the next 50 years, I decide how I want to kind of live through my life for the phase 2. So this is the part that's interesting. And why has this got to do with investing? In fact, I'm going to tell it to you as it is. Yes, everything to do with investing. Everything. Remember, we covered a very, very important concept yesterday. And the concept is this. Why are we learning from the market? Because the most practical knowledge, the most hands-on application that you can find on this world, other than reading books, all right, is to actively involve in the market. The market will invoke your emotions, your fear and your greed, and most importantly, over time, you will acquire wisdom. That's the reason why investing is so important. Now, that being said, how do we translate what we learned from day 1 into day 2? So I'm going to go through with you right now what we have covered from day 1 and then jump in straight to day 2. And here we go. So this is the big topic we covered on day 1, all right? So let me just hang on a minute. Let me just adjust the slides. And here we go. All right. Boom. We're going to go through this together right now, and we're going to recap. And this is exactly what you've gone through on day 1, starting from here. Number 1, you understand the logic of cozy. And we spent some time talking about liquid instrument. And of course, over time, I will teach you about from liquid instrument to illiquid instrument. Now, one of the things I've done when I first landed in Dubai, you know, recently I visited Dubai. That was my first trip into the beautiful land of Dubai. And once I land there, the first thing I did, other for one favor for a personal friend, I should consider the second thing I did in Dubai is this. I went to visit the EMA Sales Gallery. Now, EMA is the number 1 property developer in Dubai. In fact, half of the properties, you look at the buildings up there, you have the word EMA, E-M-A-A-R, all right? And I arranged for someone to pick me up from my hotel and send me to the sales center. And they gave me a big brief about what's going to happen in Dubai over the next 10, 20 years. And can you believe it? They already have the world's tallest building called the Burj Khalifa. And guess what? They are building the next one right now. Even taller than Burj Khalifa. So if I were to show you photographs that I took over there and you say, what kind of crazy place is this that they just want to keep building things that are bigger, taller and all that? So I want to show you something that's very, very inspiring. And can you imagine you live in a country, every day you are looking at something like this, all right? Here we go. This is the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. And if you wake up every day, you look at this thing that's pointing up, you're going to feel damn positive. I live exactly at the building, you know, facing the Burj Khalifa. This picture was taken at the Salavi restaurant. So they have a Salavi chain of restaurant in Singapore, Marina Bay Sands, and the Salavi in Dubai, all right? So this building is already the tallest, but they're building the next taller one. How's that for property development? But again, that is illiquid. Your money will be heavily invested into the market. You can't like decide to sell tomorrow and things like that, all right? So hang on, my cat just stepped into my computer again. Oh my gosh, what did you guys do? Hey, Tabby, shh. Okay, not too sure what happened to my screen right now. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh, what are you doing to my laptop? Hold on a minute. This big guy just jumped on top again. Okay, he wants to get introduced to all of you. So this guy is on my table right now. This is Tabby, and he's very, very close to me. Literally spend time with me every day, just on my table. And the moment he gets on the table means he's actually watching you guys, all right? So he's looking at all of you right now. So let me put you down. Okay, that's it. Don't move. Stay there. So where was I? I was on Burj Khalifa. And then another picture I want to show you is this picture. This is another crazy picture called a Burj Al Arab that made Dubai famous. And you can see right up there, let me see how to do the annotation right now. I'm not too sure how to do it. Okay. There's a round thing at the top. There's a helicopter pad. And kind of really, really fascinating because at the same level of the helicopter pad, that is the special space they allocated for the eventual launch of a casino in Dubai. This is like similar to Singapore in 2004, 2005 when our government announced the opening, the launching of casino. And Dubai is going through this transformation right now, all right? So once they launch the casino, it will change the whole game plan again for the landscape. I got one last picture to show you. And then this is a friend I made in Dubai. And I also want this friend to say hello to you. Kind of a very, very important friend over time. Here we go. Where's my good friend here? Holy moly. This is this guy here. All right. So this is my very, very good friend. Here we go. I'm not too sure can you make it bigger or not. I went to the desert, have a camel ride and all that. Now, coming back, why am I sharing with you all this? Because we are back to this topic of instrument and liquidity. Our foundation start off by learning the liquid instruments of the market. And what are these liquid instruments? Here we go. Stocks, options, and cryptos. And right now you begin to understand, oh, teacher, I heard from you at the very first training from you talking about the generations. But it was not real to you. After you completed the day one of the class, I come back and show you this picture is going to be real to you. What do I mean by that? Baby boomers, my parents belong to that generation. They made money in stock market. Over time, it's so easy back then because every country out there is developing and moving very, very fast. And then for my generation, which is the Gen X, we make money from options trading. And it's a very limited pool of people who make money from options trading because why? Most people give up at the beginning. It is not a simple instrument. It's a Nobel Prize winning formula called the Black-Scholes formula. And because most people gave up, those who stuck on to the game of options made money. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Wave your hands. Right? The moment you are the few that stay on in the game, you will be the one making the money. But those who left early, sorry, they missed the opportunity. They missed the boat. Right? Then, the millennials made money from cryptos trading. And those of you who traded with me Bitcoin in the early days of 2000, I mean, we are like going crazy, all right? It's like fascination. The price has dropped. Right now, moved back to about 24,000. And then my belief is still that Bitcoin will eventually hit $1 million per coin, all right? The real answer to the liquidity of instrument is found in Gen Z. This is what kept me going. This is my children's generation. And I will tell you, when my eldest son is born in the year 2006, when he turns 25 years old, the instrument that belongs to Generation Z will appear. Well, somehow everybody will start talking about it. And again, it's a first mover advantage. Those who know how to get in on the first mover will be the ones making the most money. That instrument will appear somewhere You just take 2006 plus 25, 2006 plus 25, around 2030, that instrument will appear. Now, what does it mean for the instrument to appear? It means that for those of you who completed my 2 days class on stocks, options, and cryptos, you will be ready when the instrument appears in the year 2030. And, hopefully by then, I'm still in the market sharing with you my knowledge, and you stuck onto my classes, you come on board, and I'll always take the lead. Just as I take the lead in buying Bitcoin, I'll take the lead in entering the instrument for Gen Z together with my children. All right? So watch this space. It will come up. But who can identify it? The people who can identify it are those who stick to the market, who never give up. And you know enough of experiences of stocks, options, and cryptos. By the time the instrument birth out in Gen Z, you are super ready for it. That is the real excitement of why we are doing this. How many of you feel excited so far? Oi! Woo! Ding, ding. So now you know the secret. The secret really lies on hanging out in the market long enough, and then you capture it, right? Now, in fact, for Bitcoin, I was considered a late adopter. I was not the early adopter, but my timing was kind of just sweet spot. Together with Paul Tudor Jones, I was flowing more aligned with the Wall Street traders. So on the first day that Paul Tudor Jones bought into Bitcoin, that was the same day I bought into Bitcoin. And that's defined as 12th of May, 2020. That is the day of the Bitcoin, third Bitcoin halving event, the day one itself. Okay? Now, I spent sufficient time with you on this so that you understand why do you need to learn the market. And then I show you this picture. This is the millionaire pyramid, the wealth management pyramid. And again, what is really important is you got to set a goal to be in the very top 1% of the world. All right? Top 1% of the world. Earlier on today, I had my meeting with my classmates from Harvard Business School, and somebody posted a link. Oh my gosh, the link was like a humongous link. I mean, I was kind of shocked. I want to make sure I can show you this link, and that will give you certain insights, all right? Let me try to find it right now. Let me go to my history. And here we go. I hope I can find it for you guys. It will be somewhere around here. Hold on a minute. Almost there. Nope, it's not found. Yeah, I got to find it during the break time and give it to you guys, all right? It's the population link that show us which country will surpass the generation. No problem, I can't find it right now. I will do it during the break time. But what I want to convey is this particular point here. Over here, I can tell you the country that will be super rich in this box. And the country is none other than India, not China. India is the one that's going to dominate the world. Today, the population count, India has already begun to surpass the Chinese in China. And already I can see it, just among my classmates in Harvard Business School, half of them are from India origin. And there's only one student from China, all right? So that tells a lot. They are so at the cutting edge front. They are making sure they are picking out the best knowledge, the best network and everything. And because perhaps of the US-China trade war, the Chinese are being shoved aside. So this is the era that belongs to the Indians. And if you look at all the major CEOs of Fortune 500 companies in the US, majority of them are run by Indians. Great Indian CEOs from Microsoft to Google, you've seen it, right? So over here, your real competition right now, when you talk about 62.5 million millionaires in the world, is no longer about yourself. It's about you hanging out with the right group. So if I take back like 20 years ago, I mean, maybe not 20, maybe 30 years ago or 40 years ago, no, about 35 years ago when I was still in the school, in secondary school, we were forced to learn Mandarin. Speak Chinese, write Chinese by our forefather Lee Kuan Yew. And because his strategy was, we got to hang out with the Chinese from China, which was a correct strategy. We did exactly that, but guess what? We didn't benefit from it. The Chinese benefited from it by hanging out with us. So as a result, today's property market in Singapore, most of the prime properties are snapped up by the Chinese. All right? So I'm sharing with you this because there is a way to hang out with them, and then you can benefit from that relationship, the network. And that part starts from you having the courage to dream big. How many of you like to really start scaling up, move up the pyramid, exactly as my arrow is showing you right now, pom, 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 and reach to the top? It starts off from the very basic conversation you can have with someone else. And that conversation is about your knowledge of the market, your knowledge about investing, your knowledge about the different technologies, the businesses out there, all this picked up from the stock market that we are investing in today. How many of you are excited about the market right now? Right? And if you can get into any simple conversation that starts with a simple conversation about the market, people will recognize you for who you are. They know you're serious. They get you into the club. And I want to give you a real testimony, right? So I was in Dubai. And you know, the hottest thing in Dubai right now, a push by the government, is the promotion of the golden visa. How many of you heard of the golden visa offered by Dubai? 10 years visa, right? Apparently this is a very difficult visa to get unless you like buy into the properties or put money into the country and all that. So I was talking to a friend. I say, hey, I'm thinking about getting the golden visa. He said, you want the golden visa? I say, yeah, I'm thinking about it. You want? You seriously want it? I say, yeah. This friend pick up the phone and straightway call someone and say, I'll get you the golden visa. And next thing I know, someone submitted my application to the government immediately. Psh, goes. I say, what has happened right here in less than 24 hours? Boom, 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 the thing got done. And all this started, let me tell you very innocently, because of a conversation about the stock market. So I want you to know this whole pyramid is not so much about the money that you possess today. It's so much more about the wisdom that you're going to learn from the market. Then that wisdom will propel you towards the top. Now, once you have this ambition, this desire, and this kind of a big push to yourself, then you are ready to go to war. And that is the part where, in fact, everything that we do kind of centered piece on this concept of WAR. Now, you can think about it in the stock market. You can think about it in your career, in your business. It's the same. First, there must be a catalyst. A big wow that will shock everybody. Now, the big wow can be a big promotion or a big recession or a big retrenchment or a big business deal. Can be any big wow. But I want to encourage you to always go one more step. Always try to reverse engineer the announcement date. This part is very important. The announcement. Now, how do you go about kind of reverse engineering the announcement? Typically, if you look at the weather patterns, you know, end of the year, we have the monsoon. Then in European countries, your summer, spring, autumn, and winter. There's certain seasonality. In the business sector, it's the same. In the property sector, it's the same. There's certain seasonality in the things that you're involved in. That, to me, is the so-called announcement date. Some of the date will be very clear-cut, like earnings. Okay, 4th of April, after the bell. Very precise. Good. Sometimes it's not so precise. Like clinical trial, they'll tell you, okay, it could be on the 31st of March. But they may announce like 2 weeks earlier or 2 weeks later because certain scientists were not around in town to sign it off. So what we want to do is to get very close to the date. That's the reason why I shared with you yesterday about the possibility of China taking back Taiwan in that 6 months window gap between April 2024 to November 2024. That is, I believe, the last window that is open to the Chinese to take over Taiwan. After that window, sorry, the US will be so strong, the Chinese will miss out the opportunity. All right? We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. And the last R is the recurring. How can we have a recurring event? And the stock market presents to you the best recurring event because of earnings announcement, and every business out there, they are accountable to their shareholders. So we're done on that. The third item that we learned yesterday is the concept of time squeeze. And we try to squeeze. And you guys start to ask good questions like, hey teacher, when do we get in and when do we get out? All right? So I'm going to show you right now how to study this, when to get in and when to get out. I promised you yesterday, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Here we go. Step 1. Remember, we go to the default page, which is clicking the logo. You should be very familiar with this step right now. The way I remember is spiking.com/wealth. And then I go and click on the logo, I'll arrive at this page, all right? And right over here, you saw that this guy, ARLP, spike up 12.3%. ARLP, spike up 12.3%. So I go to ARLP, click on it, and there you go. You spotted the spike right here. Right? Now, how big is the spike? One more time, you go right over here, and you can see 8.84%. Okay? So if we understand this is the phenomenon of a spike, then all you need to do is this. Go and click on the 5-day. Click on it. And then you can visually see it. All right, you can visually see it. And so right now, 22.54 right here. You will visually see it this way. Let me show you where to look at. Hang on a minute. You will see it this way. Ready? Here we go. Step 1. You have to enter the day before the announcement, which is in this 1 day before the announcement. Now, if you look at it closely, in this particular box, I put it up here, and let me just make sure I adjust correctly. Oops. Okay, one more time. If you look at this period right here, you can see the opening bell is 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and the closing bell is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so that's the reason why the background is white in color. Now, this is the time zone you can enter to buy. In fact, quite a number of you asked me the same question. So what time should we buy? I say we get in 1 day before. You can buy at 9:30 a.m., you can buy at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., or 4 p.m. You can choose to buy as long as you get in before the announcement. All of you, please wave your hands, confirm you understand this concept. You always enter before the announcement, the catalyst. Now, if you look at this box, and I challenge you to think about the concept of how can we squeeze it even further? And this is the concept of time squeeze. How can we squeeze it even further? My question to you is, how would you squeeze it then? How can you squeeze it in such a way you fulfill this call to action call? How can I make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time? So I'm trying to squeeze time, right? Squeeze time. So if I were to really squeeze time, then jolly well, your window is left right here at the closing bell. In fact, when I first started trading, I was entering in the last 3 seconds of the bell, just to squeeze the time until, like, humanly what is possible is about 1 to 2 seconds, all right? That's really squeezing to the max. And I'll enter in the last 3 seconds, all right? So I've shown you the entry. If you really want to squeeze time, you enter at the last 3 seconds. But the problem is this. Most of you wouldn't have the discipline to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning just to enter the trade. You cannot physically handle that. Now, I've done that for 5 years. The first 5 years of my trading, I slept opposite to the US time because I live in Singapore, right? So depending on the daylight switching hour, half of the year I'm sleeping at 4 a.m. The other half of the year I'm sleeping about 5 a.m. because I wait until the last 3 seconds to position my entry. Okay? So entry is very clear. Then when is the exit? Look over here. So you have entered in the last 3 seconds, and let's say you entered at $20 and let's say 60 cents. All right? And right after the closing bell, they announced the positive news. Oh, whatever announcement, FDA approval, earnings announcement, stock buyback, stock split, merger and acquisition, strategic alternative, new CEO. There are 88 different reasons for a stock price to spike up. All right? So it spike up ready and watch. Now, when do you get out? I will get out because I wanted to squeeze time and enter in the last 3 seconds here. I'll also get out in the first 3 seconds there. That is the purest form of time squeeze. And if you enter in the last 2 seconds, you get out in the first 2 seconds, you typically get out, the squeeze, the time squeeze that you achieve is about 3 seconds. That is what I was doing in the first 5 years of my trading. But most of you cannot do that. It's very, very tiring unless you're like full-time trader like me, all right? So do you need to do this today, right now? My answer to you is you don't need to do this right now, all right? But if you want to practice the purest form of time squeeze, that's how you do it. You enter in the closing bell, you get out at the opening bell, and you squeeze time. And if you can make like 5 to 100% profit return in that 3 seconds, you've broken all record already. That is the highest form of trading. But most of you can't do it. Then right now I redraw the strategy. The strategy will be redrawn this way. You can choose to enter any time as long as it's 1 day before the catalyst event. Typically for daily bread, we are entering before the earnings announcement, all right? Now, earnings will be announced when? After the bell, which is after 4 p.m., or before the bell, which is before 9:30 a.m. It doesn't matter whether it's after the bell or before the bell, as long as you enter before it. Look at what I've drawn up there. It doesn't matter. You just have to enter before the announcement. Okay? Then your exit will be right here. So you can see this is your entry and this is your exit. Now this is the part many students struggle with. They said, "Hey, teacher, why should I get out in the first 3 seconds? Because 30 minutes later, the stock price decided go up even further." Now, I will reply, but 30 minutes later, it could also go down, right? It doesn't mean it'll go up all the way and it doesn't go down. So in order to cater for all these feelings of fear and greed, the real intention of time squeeze is to achieve what? Is to achieve the state of emotionless. You have no emotions because you don't allow your emotion to play at all. You squeeze the time. Now, how can you have emotions if you enter in the last 3 seconds, and how can you have emotions when you get out in the first 3 seconds? You got no time to react at all. You just put on the trade and let the trade play it out. That is the purest form of the time squeeze. All right? So I'm sure you guys have many questions on this. Don't worry, I'll give you the chance to ask me questions. But I need to finish this part with you guys. Then you understand, oh, teacher, so that's exactly what we learned yesterday. Yes, that's what you learned yesterday. And that's module number 3. And thereafter, the real benchmark for time squeeze is to benchmark with whatever savings rate that you can get from your local friendly bank. And in Singapore, I went to the number 1 bank in the world called the DBS Bank. They won this award for 3 years in a row. And they don't really care how much money you put into the bank. All right, this is your deposit amount. All right, Singapore dollar deposit account. Your rates, you're getting like 0.05% per annum. Now, if you look at the US, your savings rate is about 0.01% per annum. It's like, holy moly, all right? Very, very small. Even your gold account, 0.02, the diamond tier account, 0.04, still lower than the 0.05, all right? So this is your so-called benchmark against the savings rate. Now, don't forget, this is achieved per year, but if we say that, hey, teacher, why don't we achieve the same 5 to 100% in 1 day? That is what we have done with the product. Everything that we built on our spiking product is to kind of aim towards this goal. How can we make it in 1 day? All right? So I share with you this part. That's the reason why it is the same amount of effort that you've done just to analyze which stock to play or to invest, but the returns are much more different because of the way we position the trades. Okay? Thereby, we are able to share with you how to make sure we enter the right stock is to make sure the stock has the most or the highest net positive purchase. And in fact, you can also trade alongside with the giants of the marketplace. These are our superheroes. Starting from left, James Simmons, he trades based on mathematics. All right, this guy is a pure math trader. And then you have Katie Wood, hedge fund manager of the year 2020. And then you have the godfather of investing, Warren Buffett. And then you have Citadel, Kenneth Griffin, controlling 50% of the world's trade passing through his company. And then you have George Soros, who shorted the Bank of England. And he's coming out with money to influence government policies all over the world. And then you have Carl Icahn. This is the real rainmaker. This is the man who saved Herbalife from a total collapse. And that's how powerful he is. Herbalife was shorted by Bill Ammon to go to zero, but Carl Icahn came on board to save the company, and the company is doing well right now. It's a multi-level marketing company. Paul Tudor Jones, the first man to buy Bitcoin. Ray Dalio, the manager of the largest fund in the world. And of course, the last but not least, Bill Ammon is literally the sniper of the market. Now, we have over 200,000 best investors on our platform. You choose either step 1 to go in, look at the investors, or your step 1, go and look into the stocks. You decide. All right, you decide your choice. And we have all the data to support you. Now, yesterday we completed the fiat method, fundamental, insider, alerts, technical analysis. Today we'll go through briefly on the other two instruments and kind of, whatever you attempt to do, especially those who come and talk to me about very complicated value investing, price sales ratio, debt equity ratio, I say, can you summarize whatever you do into a maximum 4-letter word? Because if you can't do that, then I think you're overdoing whatever you're doing. It can't be so complicated. And that's why I'm sharing my heart out with you guys. You can pursue whatever strategy, but make sure there are people who put in more money than you. That's all I'm asking for. Are you okay with that, guys? Hello? Someone must be a lead investor. You cannot always think you are the biggest out there. In fact, whatever products the bank asks me to buy, I always ask them, who's the taiko? Who's the leader? I don't want to be the leader. I'll be the number 3 or number 4, but not the number 1. Let someone take the lead. Okay? So it is based on this very, very purist thinking of following hot money, I created the fiat method. F-I-A-T. To simplify it until you cannot simplify further already. That's why some of you yesterday, you thought, teacher, you're so simple. Yeah, it is so simple. But to build the software is not simple. To derive the theory, to build the software is also not simple. To simplify it to this extent. All right, so I just have to tell you that we've gone through a lot to finally arrive at this 4-letter word called fiat. Now, I'll be sharing with you briefly about the time method. Time method is designed for options trading, all right? Now, typically, options trading itself is a totally different instrument of its own. But the way I'll describe to you is this. You're still starting a stock, a company, a public listed company. No change. It's just that the final step before you enter, you just have to decide, do I want to buy stock or do I want to buy the options? And I presented to you the pros and cons. Options, you have a Achilles heel, which is called a time decay. Stocks, you can hold it for the next 10, 20, 30 years, you will never lose money unless the company is fraudulent, which is a rare, not like going to happen every day because they pass through a stringent test just to get public listed. All right? So if you look at these two, what is your choice? So I don't want to rush you through to kind of, you must buy options today. No. Take your time. You have all the time in the world to learn. But first start off by understanding what the business is about. Then finally, we designed the coin method for understanding cryptos. But I really kept it so simple. I'm teaching all our students, just buy Bitcoin. Don't buy any other coin. Because why? There's one big question mark today, and you better know this guy. His name is called Gary Gensler, Chairman of Securities Exchange Commission. He has already stated publicly in his mind as the commissioner, all coins, or any other coins on planet Earth, they are defined as a security. The only exception is Bitcoin. Now that means to say, it's a matter of time, all other coins will be rounded up by SEC, he will charge them, they have to pay a heavy fine, all kinds of issues. That puts a big heavy question mark on the instrument, all right? So at this season, we only talk about Bitcoin. So I'm done on that. And then finally, we kind of go into a little bit of the live trading, and that's where we completed day 1. So day 1, I sent you guys an email today. How many of you have received our email today about the summary of day 1? Can you just wave your hands? If you have not received it, please go and check your spam box. Please make sure you're reading our email, right? Every now and then, I will send you special stuff on. So in the email, what I wanted you guys to do is to think about at least one question to ask your teacher, so that you consolidate what you learned yesterday, and today you come in fresh, and I'm going to put it out right here, a place for you to ask me questions. Do you have any questions for day one? Very simple. And then I click the topic, post, fire away, and here we go. That's it. So go and post inside this question. Do not post anywhere else, or you messed up the place. Just post inside this box, all right? So how to get into this page? spiking.com/feed. And you have about 1 minute to do this right now.
Tonight we're running on the right track. I know we never gonna look back. Oh, I just wanna have a good time. Call me whatever. I'm up for anything like that. Oh no, we don't wanna do slow-mo. So tonight we just let go. To the beat in the street, every out sing like. Sing like, party like, freaking out. To the beat, you will freak out. Sing like, party like, freaking out. To the beat, you will freak out. Sing like, where's the fun in doing what you're told? I don't mind even though I lose control. Oh, I just wanna have a good time. So call me whenever. 'Cause a night like this, it never gets old. Oh no, we don't wanna do slow-mo. So tonight we just let go. To the beat in the street, every out sing like. Sing like, party like, freaking out. To the beat, you will freak out. Sing like,
Okay, that's good. We got the first question coming in, and I'm sure the rest of you are typing in your question. So first question coming in from Patrick. When doing daily bread, once we enter a trade, I understand to wait till it turns profitable. Will there be a situation where the top investors choose to cut loss and exit? If yes, the price may decline further. Based on past experience, what's the possibility of your trades being struck or stuck in a market as price is not favorable using the daily bread? Second question, I may not have a good feel how much is considered big amount that was invested by the top investors to a particular company. More than 500, 1 billion, will there be any guide? Is it based on judgment call or percentage of a portfolio used to invest in this company? Okay? So let me tackle the second question first. And because this is your first exposure to the software, and it's very, very powerful. There's a lot of stuff going on inside here, right? So what you want to do is this. You go to hamburger menu, click on stocks, and then you can also click on triangulation. All right, let's go to triangulation. Click on it, and you want to see the scale of the net positive purchase. Every quarter the amount will change, so it's not like fixed, all right? So the numbers that you see here is the Q3, quarter 3, right here, okay? So if you kind of go down the list, you see, 9.1 is like rank number 2. You go down further, 5 billion is kind of average, right? We got 3 guys, 5 billion, Canadian Railway 4.6 billion, and then this 4.4 billion, 4.4 billion. And all this is net, you know, despite whatever market conditions that you look out there, People are pouring money, right? And we don't look at the ETF. I skipped the ETF. This was what we studied yesterday, 3.6 billion. Signify 3.2 billion, right? R1 2.9 billion. And you just go down like this. You develop a feel of this quarter, what is the range of the net positive purchase. Every quarter will be different. I can tell you, just like Warren Buffett, right? Q1 2022, he put in 40 billion. In his track record, he never put in 40 billion one in one quarter. That one was like an anomaly. So you have to feel it, see enough to get the average, what is the net positive that you want to think about, all right? Then the other question that you ask, what happens if the stock price goes down? Of course, there will be times when the stock price goes down and you kind of stuck in that position. Now, this is the part where the selection of stocks versus options becomes very important. Becomes super important. If you're playing with options, sometimes you may not have sufficient times for the stock price to go up and you got killed because the options expire worthless. But if you bought into stocks, you don't have to worry. Because I kind of traded through 22 years of my cycle already. I've seen the ups and downs. And one of the best ways for you to understand the ups and downs is to do this exercise. Let's go to the Dow Jones Index. And I click on maximum, right? This is literally the barometer of the US stock market. Dow Jones Index, I click on maximum. All right. Now, some of you, I know you are having some challenges. Wow, teacher, you click very fast, the thing show up like magic and I cannot replicate what you show. For those of you having this challenge, no problem. You can watch the recorded video, rewind, playback, slow down the speed, increase the speed. Okay. But I cannot slow down because I want to give you maximum value. How many of you want me to give you maximum value? Please raise your hands. So I know yes, some of you have technical challenges. I also try to slow down my best. But if you still cannot catch up, watch the recorded one. But let me try to give you maximum knowledge, all right? This is the barometer of the US stock market. Okay? So let's identify a few things. Number one, during this era, 1992 to .com 2000, can you see for yourself, baby boomers made crazy money? The market just went up. Right? My parents' generation. So easy to make. Freaking hell, every day just go up. The thing is like Burj Khalifa. And then my generation, I started with year 2000. Can you believe it? The moment I entered, boom, market crash. And we had to go through 911, financial crisis, and all kind of crazy things that back then, right? And then the next thing, the moment Obama came on board, 2009 January. See for yourself. I mean, this is, you can see for yourself one, you can go and draw yourself. Like that. Okay? This is the real big picture you should be looking at. Don't get distracted. This is the real big picture. Now, 3 reasons for this guy to go up like Burj Khalifa. I really like the word Khalifa or Inshallah. Wow, now I learned this word, Inshallah. Inshallah. How many of you know this Inshallah word? Every Emirati will tell you, Inshallah. God willing. Okay? 3 conditions for this to happen. Because the Americans have mastered the art of, number 1, quantitative easing. Otherwise known as stimulus. Printing of money. They mastered this art already. Right? So they just keep printing. That's why I told you, you can't have $1.7 trillion approved on the 23rd of December last year, 2 days before Christmas, and you expect this year the market will not move. Not possible. They already told you they got 1.7 trillion. They will spend like crazy, pump the market. All right? So they mastered this art. The second thing that they mastered, why the stock market can go up, is they mastered the art of war. So if you think about the Iraq war, is there any justification for the Americans to drop bombs on Iraq and take out Saddam Hussein? Yes or no? There's no justification. You think back in history, they don't even find a weapon of mass destruction in Iraq. But they went in, take over because of the oil fields. History will always tell us the truth, right? So we have an era where they took over Iraq, and then the main thing is to fight against Saddam Hussein, who wanted to start an oil currency. Anything that threatens the US dollar, they have to take them down. Boom, Saddam Hussein is taken out. Next thing, they went to take over Afghanistan, 15 years dominance. By the way, my friend is the #1 contractor to the US military in Afghanistan. Oh my God, they made so much money. 15 years. And after that, they decided to pull out. And now they are where? All their money went to support Ukraine. So history has taught us the US will always start war as long as their interest is being challenged. And unfortunately, no matter how you look at the Ukraine war, there's certain truth behind that many Americans, especially the learned professors out there, I urge you go and watch some of those YouTube videos. It all started from Russia and Germany completing the Nord Stream pipe #2. And that will tie the close relationship between the Americans, between the Russians and the Germans, which the Americans got no interest to benefit from. And boom, next thing happened, Nord Stream pipe 1, pipe 2, boom, both got destroyed. And you have a Ukraine war. So what we have learned is the US cannot fight 2 wars at the same time. They can only fight 1 war, right? So the war that they are fighting, so-called fighting now, is the Ukraine war, because they raise money and they support them with all kinds of things. Then which is the next war? The real threat to Americans will be the Chinese. That's why you have US-China trade war. You have the semiconductor chip war, right? And that, if that is true, then perhaps the 4-star general is quite accurate in predicting an upcoming war in 2025. Now, I want you guys to read this really closely so that you're not misreading the information, all right? So let me just pull out again the article. Oh, where's my article right now? I'm trying to find. And sometimes you read the first round, you can't get it. I have to read like a few rounds, then I see, oh, it means that way, right? So I'm not too sure why my browser not working right now. Holy moly, what's going on? Hang on a minute, let me just open up the article again. It is called, okay, here we go. US 4-star generals. Okay, let's go back to this article. Boom, here we go. All right, back to here. So I was like reading this one like 3-4 times already, you know. So I was trying to think about why he mentioned about 2025, not 2024, right? So where's the mention of the date? Okay, back up here. Okay, here. A 4-star US Air Force general said in a memo that his gut told him the United States would fight China in the next 2 years. Comments that Pentagon officials said were not consistent with the American military assessment. Now, this guy will not be an idiot to just say something out of the blue. In the military context, he knows he'll be court-martialed, right? Somebody told him to say something. How many of you with me wave your hands? He wouldn't, like, out of nowhere just blurt out something stupid as that. He has the backing of his superiors, all right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. And I hope I'm wrong. General Mike Minihan, who heads the Air Mobility Command, wrote to the leadership of his roughly 110,000 members. My gut tells me we'll fight in 2025. Actually, he's already preparing the country, the military. So why 2025? Because in 2024, China take back Taiwan. That is the sequence of the activity. That's my calculation. Anyway, why am I talking about this? Because we are talking about this. So let me go back to Patrick's question. If there is a military war that breaks out, then I show you which are the years that we have the war. In 2003, we had the Iraq War, and I lived through that period. Everybody was waiting for the war to start. And when finally it started, guess what? The market went up this way. You go and trace back the history of Iraq War. They were just waiting for the war to start. And once it started, boom, the market went up. All right? So, what am I going to teach you right now is this. Ready? You are afraid the market price brought it down and you couldn't get out. So, I'm going to show you right now, starting from the year 2000. All right, 2000. So please watch. And here we go. I'll take from here, draw all the way to here. Okay? 2000, 2000, right there. So let's say you enter at a high of the year 2000 here. So how many years it took for you to get out? About 7 years. Just treat it as 7 years around here. And then you got up. Okay? That was the dot-com crash. 7 years to break even. Now if I go to the financial crisis crash, again I do the same thing. Go to the peak of the 2007, I draw a horizontal line across it. All right? So again, we calculate. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years later, we got up. So from 7 years, we reduced to 5 years to break even for a major crisis. Then we continue this method, and then we kind of break down to the pandemic crash. So let me show you the pandemic crash. How long it took us to break even is about 10 months. So here we go. Pandemic crash is 2020. And let me just adjust to 1 day. And here we go. 2020 right here. Okay? So I spread out the months and you can see. So let me start from here. You entered on Valentine's Day, 14th of February, that's the peak of the Dow Jones, and you draw a horizontal line across it. And how many months is that? 11 minus 2, about 10 months. 10 months to break even. So we've gone through dot-com 7 years to break even, 2008 financial crisis, which took 5 years to break even. Pandemic crash, we took 10 months to break even. Okay? You go through this exercise and then you finally zoom out again to maximum. And you see for yourself. And ask yourself a very simple question. Will the United States stay relevant? If they stay relevant, they will always be the one riding the market up. If they are replaced, then you prepare for upcoming war, because there are tricks in the back is always the same. The moment someone threatens them, start the war. Very simple one. All right, we can talk about this openly. You can trace back the history of war. That's the reason why they have to finance the Ukraine war, to dominate Europe, to dominate NATO, and then kind of fence off, fight off against the Russians and the Chinese, and right now the Indians are buying oil from the Russians. So it's a very complicated game, and Saudi Arabia is in the picture also. The OPEC is controlling the oil, and that's why they have to tread very carefully. But at the end of all options running out, they just press the button, let's start a war, reset everybody. So this is the US stock market you're looking at now. Okay, I give you some time to digest, because overall big picture, it will always go up, because the guy with the biggest gun will always win the race. Now, I go back to Patrick's question, and I'm sure there are many other questions coming in. I want to make sure I tackle all of your questions tonight before we start day 2. We haven't started day 2 yet. So this is my student who became my good friend. I visited him in Dubai, and the first night my dinner was spent with Dizu, and he picked me up in his in his beautiful Ferrari, and then we drove to a nice place to have dinner. And he's a very, very active player of the stock market, right? So I'm very, very proud of him, because he used the methods I taught, and over time he made $1 million pure profit, just playing stocks and options, a combination of that. I think he just posted something here or something. Now he belongs to the generation, back in 2005 to 2010. During that 5 years, our options profit were like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%, that kind of range. Those were the good old days when the options market just started. We really went in to hammer the market, all right? But in our current generation, as in these past 3 years, you can't get that kind of big percentage gains anymore, because more and more players come in, crowd into the options market. Your chances of making the big arbitrage is lost. You don't have the advantage, all right? So that's why the first mover is very important. Wow, congratulations to all these students who post the winning profit. Sati has also posted. And where's my question? Okay, so back to here. So here we go. Pankit, I still confused on how to interpret insider trading in technical chart in red and green box. How come there's a red and green box? Let me take a look what he's looking at. So I use Tesla to explain to you. So let's go through one more time. Oh, okay. So let me explain. I understand your problem already. First of all, the way to look at this chart starts from here. Every square box, every box, red box here that I'm moving in front of you represents a quarter. And you remember that we have a universe net stock purchase. Please wave your hands, confirm you understand this. Universe net stock purchase, yes. That number is represented here. 15.1 billion in quarter 2, all right? But the problem is most traders, yes, they know about 15 billion net positive purchase for quarter 2, but visually they cannot understand, or they get distracted. So what you really need to do is this. You just focus on this box and don't look at anything else, just like that. So when I zoom in, it literally means that I want your eyes to just look inside this red box and don't look elsewhere. Focus just on that box to understand the behavior. How the heck $15 billion net inflow of money entered Tesla and the stock price went down? You take your time to understand this. Just on that box. Okay? So once you understand that box, which is Q2, then you repeat the same process for Q3, which is represented by this box now, right? And then we tell you is net positive 4.5 billion. And then you look at it. Hey, what's the behavior inside this box? Oh, the price went up and then ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, stay at the top. Just focus in that red box. So you completed your understanding of Q2 and Q3. And once you understand these two boxes, I can also do this. I combine these two boxes, Q2 and Q3, and I imagine, wow, 15.1 billion, 4.5 billion. That's close to 20 billion universe net purchase. And I want to find the lowest price. Happens to be right here at the bottom of the red box. It also means that if you buy below my red arrow, you are buying cheaper than all these jokers here, no? That is the real definition of value investing. Your ability to pay at a price lower than all of them. Please confirm you understand this, wave your hands. Yes? Because all of them here in the box here, my big red box here, you are buying below them, you know. Dirt cheap. So that's how you look at it. Then finally you ask me about the yellow and the green box. Now we came out with the yellow and the green box because right over here, around here, because this box here, the data is not 100% in yet. The data for Q4 will only be 100% presented to us on the 15th of February. Remember, 45 days after the last day of the previous quarter? The last day of the previous quarter will be 31st of December. You add 45 days, that will 15th of February, right? So that's the reason why you don't see any net positive purchase numbers up here, because we don't have the full data yet. The full data will come in on the 15th of February. All right? So that's what we are talking about here. Now, we kind of also show you like the yellow and the green just to separate out where's the changeover, right? That's just our way to show it to you. That's about it. No big deal about it. And then if you can buy below all these guys here, right? Imagine this is the Q4 box. And once the data is in, and you realize if you can buy below this red box, you are buying at the cheapest possible price. No one can beat you already. That is value investing, not some kind of financial metrics. Value investing means the ability to pay at a lower price than all the rest. You win them all hands down. So if I translate this to here, it is no different from me drawing visually in front of you, but we make it convenient for you, right? So I want you to see where's the Q4. 10, 11, 12. So I show you how I draw it. October is the day one, and I I'm moving right here. Look at my dot here. I'm moving here to find the highest possible price for Q4. So it's start from here, October, all the way to end of December. You can see below 2023, I go to end of December, the lowest possible price is there, right? So this is your Q4 box. And what you want to learn from the Q4 box is that, holy moly, the price went down. And what caused the price to go down? Because Elon Musk was dumping the stock, his own stock. But for those of you out there who have bought below the bottom of the red box, that is extreme value. And see, the moment you buy bottom of the red box, guess what happens? Right now you're sitting on 30% up. So what can you learn from this? Our job is to try to buy below the insiders. If we buy below the insiders, guess what? The insiders will make sure the price have to go up, because they got much more at stake than you and I combined. Somebody will push it back up again. And this is like classic happening all the time on Wall Street. Okay? So if you have not learned insider trading from me, then you cannot see it visually. Oh, that's what you meant by buying cheap. Yes, that's what I meant. By considering all the big money managers, not just one Tom, Dick, and Harry, but everybody, combine them together. That is the purest form of insider trading. Okay? So I think we still got quite a number of questions. Let's sort them out. And here we go. So if you all understand, right, can you all just reply or not? Those like Patrick and Penket, I replied to you already. Next is Olivia. I used Daily Bread yesterday, invested a small amount into AMD to practice, but I assumed the company gain were lower than expected and the stock price fell. I didn't sell at today's price. And what was the catalyst for AMD? Let me check. So let me go to AMD. And I go straight to step 3. Oops. This is AMD. I go to step 3. Okay. It says over here, earnings after the market close. Today is 31st January. Everybody, should you enter yesterday or today? Hello. This is very important. Should you enter yesterday or today? Today or yesterday? Today, right? We try to be very detailed about it. So the earnings is tonight after the bell. So you should be entering today, to squeeze the possible time, that how I explained at the beginning of the class. So you shouldn't be entering yesterday, you should enter today. All right, then let it play out. So this sequence is very important. All right, so just make sure you know that. Now it moved down and you get panicked by this. Let me come in and play the role of your medical doctor. They have not announced the earnings yet. So you are freaked out by this little red candle here, but you know the results is not out yet. It will be after the closing bell today. All right. So if I want to see even more detail, I click on the 5-day. So probably Olivia entered around this price here, and then today he see the price has gone down here. He start to freak out already. Haven't played out yet. The earnings is not announced yet, all right? It's just in sympathy because Intel went down and all the semi-chip will go down. And this is the law of nature, all right? So just get the sequence right and you'll be fine. Victor, for time squeeze theory, can teacher advise how to determine the price or exit when market open? So this part about exit, what it really meant is that before the bell opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, you can already see on your brokerage platform what price is trading at. All right? So I will already place the order before the bell opens. So let's say it's trading at $90. Let's say I bought at $100, right? And it's trading at $120. I will add a little bit more. I'll sell at $121. Because at the opening bell, a lot of volatility. I can take advantage of a big swing. But my mind is just focused on selling at the opening bell. So I'll place the order at 121 at 9:29 a.m. Eastern Time, 1 minute before the opening bell, and just observe. And I may go back and switch the price to 120.05 or 120.80 or 120.4. I just keep modifying my price because I just want to get out in the first 3 seconds. Please wave your hands, confirm you understand. You are very focused, task-minded about getting out in the first 3 seconds. Because you're already in profit. So don't go out there and say, oh, I couldn't hit my profit. I don't want to get out. So my suggestion to you at the beginning, you try to collect as many trophies as possible, right? Whether it's 5% profit or 50% profit, it's still a profit. So try to practice this. And over time, you'll find your rhythm. Like my rhythm is still the same. The moment is like, before the opening bell, it's showing a profit, I reposition to sell at the opening bell, right? Because what have we achieved? Okay, let's answer this question. What have we really, really achieved? What we have achieved is this. Maybe this one haven't sink into you yet. You may be looking at the left-hand side. You say, teacher, 5 to 100% is very small, no? I want to make 200%. I want to make 1,000% like Dizu. But the moment you look at the right-hand side, you did it in one day, it changes everything, you know. Now, you can also make 5 to 100% in 10 years, like my properties in Malaysia. Take 10 years to make 100%. All right, take them long one. So you have to calculate the time for you to make this return. Then you realize, wow, this is not simple. This is phenomenal. All right? So you have to consider both the return that you want and the time that you're exposed in the market. Some people take about 1 year to make 5% profit, but you can do it in 1 day. For properties, my record in Singapore is about 100% profit in 2 years. But that's Singapore. It's like crazy back then. We open up a casino and then it's just boom, flip. For the stock market, you should expect that about 1 day, 5 to 100%. Okay? And that's because we have the data and the methodology to back that up. Not because we trying to call for some crazy, unrealistic figure. Okay, Peter, taking an example, I do not think I would have picked the stock to play after I do the fiat, the net purchase was negative. No, I'm just using this company, the chart, to explain to you. All right, so to show you visually, I hope you get my point, just to show you visually, all right? So I think you are misunderstanding what I'm saying here, Peter. Do you understand? I was just using the chart to visually explain to you guys. Confirm you understand this part? Yes? Hello, please wave. Okay, so that was just to explain to you, Peter. We didn't play ARLP yesterday, all right? Mainly, if your options reach expiration date and are worthless, will they automatically convert into stock at a higher price? No. If it goes worthless, you lose everything. You put in $100, you lose $100. You put in $5,000, you lose $5,000. Okay? Fabian, the product you recommended, is it independent of current market interest? Is on the target list. Thanks for that. So for grid, in fact, you know, because I bought like I was the pioneer buyer, and I bought not just one, I bought 3. I was able to hustle with the bank. The interest rate I was paying was actually 0. For the, I don't know how many first 2 to 3 years, I think. And after that, they start charging me interest rate. But interest that they charge me is still very, very low. And even when they charge you the interest, if you have a good banker, what my banker does for me is we'll switch the currency from US dollar to Japanese yen, then we rotate to Swiss currency, then switch back to US currency just to save on the interest payment. So a good banker will advise you how to do that. But don't worry about the interest rate, because the net, you're still getting cash flow coming in every year, right? And confirm, Singapore is at the forefront of this product. Most of the countries out there, you cannot see this product on, because it requires a big bank and a big insurance company coming together to work hand in hand. So most of other countries, the banks and the insurance, they don't talk to each other, so that's why they couldn't create this product. Olivia, will the Ukrainian war be ended in 2025 for the US to start Chinese war? So this is a good question. Let me explain to you all. Number one, the first assumption we must establish is that US will never fight 2 wars at the same time, because they cannot handle the domestic politics and they don't have the resources to fight 2 wars. All right? Typically, when they go out there and fight a war, is one major money laundering exercise. It's one major exercise, right? Not I say, the experts are saying it, all right? And there's a lot of money flowing to the particular country, and then boom, disappear, and then appear somewhere, all right? It's very, very high level. So they cannot fight 2 wars at the same time. That's the reason why I think Olivia started to get the point. China is left with one last window in 2024, on the assumption that Ukraine war will persist. So the Americans are busy fighting the Ukraine war. They didn't send US soldiers in, but they are, supplying cash and all kind of things behind the scenes. They cannot fight Taiwan at the same time. They have to stop the war in Ukraine, then they take on a new war. So I think that's the current thinking for this. And let's refresh. Where is it? Wait, did I miss out? Okay, Patrick, thanks a lot. Olivia, earnings. From Dinesh, what's your question? Tesla red box in the technical, despite high net purchase, the price still makes low on the same situation which have made stock purchase by following high net worth purchase. Did a spike happen on that quarter? So the spike that you're chasing is always due to the earnings announcement. Please remember that for daily bread. All right? So did the spike happen? It's here. I thought I went through with you guys on this yesterday. This spike here, that's the spike, right? Due to Tesla earnings. You all can check back on step 3. Where is step 3 for Tesla? Step 3 for Tesla, look for the earnings date. 26th of January pre-market. So we go back to the chart. 26th of January is exactly on my crosshair. Right here, pre-market. So it spike up. Okay? You can please go and play around with it and get used to the data. Will straddling improve results options? So for Joseph, you want to catch that 5 to 100%. That's why if you want to do that, you have to play call options. You want to do credit spreads, straddle, strangle, covered call, you're not going to get a big percentage gain, right? So there's always a trade-off, whatever strategy that you want to use. So like for options, there are spreads, strangle, straddle, iron condor, butterfly, covered calls. There's total 56 different strategies. Now I spent 5 years playing each of the 56 strategies with real money, real emotions, right? And end of the day, I just crafted my own option strategy to get the highest profit in the shortest time. So that's very, very advanced knowledge. That also includes the teaching of the salvation. What happens if the direction go wrong? We can convert it and salvage it and still make money. That's called a salvation strategy. That one takes about 2 days to teach. So at the very beginning right now, you guys should really get into the hang of insider trading first. Don't rush. Learn from the insiders first. Why they are deploying so much money into a particular stock and all that, right? And focus on the analysis. So I think that's most of your questions ready. So can I just do one last refresh? Okay, what is this? You skip. What did I skip? Is it dangerous to base a decision on investment there from? So first of all, where's Olivia? Can I see where's Olivia? Olivia not around. First of all, we spoke about Q4 data will only come in when? Q4 data will only come in on the 14th of February. It's not in yet. Today is 31st of Jan because of the 45 days delay. So you can't be waiting for something to happen. If let's say you want to trade today, you can only ask yourself, what is the best data today if I want to trade? That's it. So you have to live with that. The best data is the Q3 data. And I can't move forward to the future. So please reconcile this dilemma, right? I think at the beginning, maybe you're not thinking in terms of time sequence. So you try to jumble up the concept and say, wow, why don't I wait for Q4 data? Because it's not out yet, next month. But Daily Bread is announcing earnings tomorrow. You have to get in today. So you can only base on what is available today. So if you want to enter based on Q4, then you can join me in Trade Through the Night on what date was that? 15th of February. I think it was 15th of February. Yeah, 15th of February, I'll be doing the Trade Through the Night. One whole night, play 20 games, all right? So it's not dangerous because this is the best data or information you have at the point of making a decision. You can't get any better already. So maybe I will rephrase the question and ask you back. And ask all of you back. Could you or us or we done any better than what we have now? I ask you back. You have to really ask yourself this question. Don't throw your question at me. Don't outsource your thinking to me. Could we have done any better than what we have right now? You tell me, I can build it up for you tomorrow. Because we really stretched the boundary of what we can possibly do. Right? So far, I've not got any fresh ideas than what I presented to you. It's really the best that we can do with the current data. Other than illegal insider trading. Now, that one you can go to jail, right? So I'm not going to teach you that. That will be like trading on thin red line. And in my whole career, I was notified by SEC once. Say, why do you place a trade on this particular position? Then I explained to them, oh, I trade based on earnings. I trade based on insider data. That's it. All right. So they have a surveillance team to track illegal insider trading. And if you cannot answer those questions and you are really doing illegal insider trading, you'll be caught, you'll be arrested, you go to jail. All right, it's a very fair game. So back to this question, could we have done any better than what we have today? Please let me know and I'll build it for you tomorrow. Okay, that's how confident we are. And I welcome your feedback. Maybe I have some blind spots. Maybe my engineers got some blind spots. I'm not too sure, but I'm willing to build it up for you, all right? Is waste management goodbye today? So we will do our analysis later on what we would like to play today. And any other last questions? So look at the announcement. Q4. Not too understanding what they are saying here. Anyway, okay. So, how many of you received the request for FIFO review? You all read my email, right? Yes. By the way, can I have feedback from you guys? You guys enjoyed the class so far? How many of you enjoyed the class so far? And take about 2 days for you to get the hang with your teacher. I don't teach the standard way. I try to enjoy the process of teaching. That's why I don't have a script in front of me. But as you ask me the question, I'll just answer you, and to spend this precious time together with you. And maybe can I give you all some time, about 5 minutes, go and check back the email I sent you. And typically, it is very, very important, not to me, but to my team of engineers and my team of angels. All right, I give you about 5 minutes. Can you just take this next 5 minutes, go and respond to our request for your review? How have you benefited so far? And even though we are not finishing day 2 yet, but by now you should have get the flow of how I've been teaching you. And after that, we'll do the live trading for tonight. All right. So let's set aside 5 minutes. Can you just take some time, look at the email from us, and complete the FIFO review, right? So, and I can jump off to the toilet. I want to take a toilet break for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and start the class again. Please complete the FIFO request.
It's true, la, la, la. Oh, I should be right.
Okay, thank you very much for completing the exercise. And we are not done with the class yet. But what we discovered in the past is the students enjoy the class so much. After the class, they totally forgotten how to write the reviews. That's why I want to do this process much earlier, right? So those of you who submitted to us your review, I want you to know this is really to encourage my team of engineers and my team of angels. They are working very, very hard behind the scene under a very tough boss to give you the best experience. Now, at any point in time, you can also reach out to us at the following QR code. Let me just repeat. Some of you may have stepped into the class late yesterday. Make sure you take a picture of these 3 QR codes. The one on the extreme right is how you can get in touch with our angels through WhatsApp. Very, very convenient, and you're talking to the team at Spiking because we have a official WhatsApp green tick. That's to show you we are the real company. That, by the way, that we have many people out there who's trying to create fake accounts pretending to be us, right? So we want to make sure we are well covered on that. The middle one is the one that will send out broadcast messages, and the extreme left is my Twitter account, all right? So you can reach us in these 3 different formats. So we are back here right now, and this is the moment in time also I want to show you a few important things. Number 1, how many of you enjoy the way that I delivered the class in this format? Not very structured, but we follow a certain content flow, but every teaching is backed by the data. And this is where I think is necessary, and this is the future of education. So let me share with you my personal testimony. I probably invested $1 million in my own personal education. I really took the time to calculate from my primary school days to junior college to bachelor degree, my MBA, my PhD, and right now I'm still a student at Harvard Business School, plus all the public seminars, training, classes that I attended. I invested about $1 million in myself. And what I want to do as a teacher is this. I say, how can I always be at a cutting edge so that I don't follow a textbook? The thing about following a textbook is like very scripted. And in fact, I gave this feedback in Harvard Business School. They are still doing case study on Toyota and Nissan. I say, Professor, we should be doing a case study on Tesla, not Toyota and not Nissan. Can you imagine I dare to bring this up in Harvard Business School, right? Because they follow a certain script. And that's not what I got myself as a teacher. I want to be at a cutting edge. So on this note, what I'm going to share with you right now is going to be quite scary, which will kind of prepare you for the subsequent journey in your trading, all right? So let me set this up right now. This is the one important thing that you must master. And here we go. Let me just check this out. And here we go. We gone through this yesterday. Cozy War, Fiat, Daily Bread, Resurrection, Triangulation. We also arrived all the way to 2030. But before we go so far away, the most important thing that's impacting us right now is the Fed funds rate, otherwise known as the interest rate. Now, this interest rate that we are talking about really only started last year, where it started from the first interest rate hike, and this is kind of caught everybody off guard, kind of shocked the market, with the first 25 basis point introduced in March last year. And over time, they hike it to 50 basis point. The language for 50 basis point means 0.5%. Okay? And then they got 4 consecutive hikes of 75 basis point, that's 3% you add up. Thereby ending off with December with a drop, a first time drop from the 75 basis point high, first time drop back to 50 basis point. Now I got to draw it another way. This from 25 increase all the way to 75, and then from 50 it dropped back. From 75 dropped to 50, all right? So why am I teaching you this right now? Because this is what you're going to read every day, watch every day on the TV. The current interest rate, Fed funds rate, is 4.25%. We always look at the beginning, not the end, all right? The beginning number, 4.25. They will always create a buffer of additional 25 basis points, so you got dash 4.5. But the number that we look at is the 4.25, okay? Now, if that is true, then it also means that when they will stop raising the interest rates. So this battle for the stop raising of interest rate is defined as what we call the terminal rate. Right there. All right? So Wall Street has accepted the fact that the terminal rate should stop at 5%. And thereafter, they can start to reduce the interest rate. And all this happens because the real step one is inflation has gone up. Inflation has gone up, things become more expensive. Then the real step two, they have to introduce interest rate to bring inflation down. So interest rate is a step two, a consequence of the current high inflationary prices. So if this is true, terminal rate will end at 5%, then we got to minus what's the current interest rate, 4.25%. That means there's another 0.75% for the Fed to continue to raise the interest rate, all right? So there's about permutation of 3 different combinations. Either tomorrow, which is the next window for announcing the interest rate, they announce a 75 basis hike. And straight away, you'll hit 5% terminal rate because 4.25 plus 0.75, 5%, all right? But is this possibility high? No, it's very low. How do we know it's low? Because down here, December, they dropped to 50, right? If they want to hit 75, they would have continued 75 basis point in December, but they choose to drop to 50. So that was the first sign of the breather. When it was at 75 basis point, the market was very, very chaotic. So December was the first sign when it dropped the interest rate to 50 basis point. So we rule out the first option. How about the second option? Would they continue with another 50 basis point hike tomorrow? And then in March, followed by another 25 basis point to hit the 5% terminal rate. Now that could be a possibility. We are not ruling that out. But how about the last possibility of 3 consecutive hike of 25 basis point? So I attended the investment committee meeting today. So, you know, I run a hedge fund, and every month we have to meet with my fellow fund managers. And we kind of agreed, I think the third permutation would be the likely choice. That the Fed will announce a 25 basis hike tomorrow. And March, another 25 basis. And then May, another 25 basis. Thereby, the pain will finally ease off in the month of May. Right? So is this true? Let's take a look right now. This is the window on when the Fed will announce interest rate hike. Tomorrow is the first one, 1st Feb. Next one, 22nd of March. Third one, 3rd of May, right? So please take a picture of this particular slide so that you can mark it out on your calendar and really know what's happening on that day, because that day is a nerve-wracking day, right? Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will come out and disrupt everybody. They will announce the interest rate first, and then at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, he will have a speech and then open the floor to the journalists to ask questions, and that's where the market goes completely chaotic. Because what he announced and what he's going to say at 2 o'clock will be always very different one. All right, so this is the interesting thing. And that's and that's the reason why on Thursday we're going to have our cozy live trading right after the interest rate hike announcement. All right, so typically we have our cozy live trading organized close to the interest rate hike window. Then we know exactly what to do. All right, so you got all this mark out ready, means the likely scenario is we might have a rally, a major rally starting from the month of May onwards. And I'm saying this not because it is frivolous, but because at the back of my mind is very, very clear. This money cannot disappear. What is that money I'm talking about? Go and search again, 1.7 trillion. And you understand what I'm talking about. This money cannot just disappear out of the market. This money must go somewhere. So I also read another Morgan Stanley report together with my fellow fund manager. And the Morgan Stanley report was saying that perhaps earnings will be totally crushed. And the S&P will hit about 3,000 points. I don't believe in that. Because nowhere in his report did he mention about the 1.7 trillion bill that was passed. This money cannot disappear into thin air. How many of you are with me? Just wave your hands. All right. I want you all take some time, go and study this. This is not small, no. And what is the breakdown of this money? That's the one that's very, very scary. All right. Let me give you the breakdown. And you know where to focus. 772.5 billion for non-defense, and the other half for defense. What does that tell you? You have to get into defense stocks. I'll be announcing a list of defense stocks that we should get into on our Thursday Cozy Live Trading. And this bill was only announced when, look at the date, intentionally passed through the cold winter season. And nobody read the bill and they just passed it. The politicians never do their work because it's like 5,000 pages. Humanly, it's not possible to read. And they push it through, 23rd of December. And everybody is like holiday mood. Who are going to read a serious thing like a bill called 1.7 trillion? So this was the part where Elon Musk was complaining on Twitter, damn it, the politicians just pass it through without thinking what they are approving. So you saw the division, right? And they got a Academy Award winner, no, not winner yet, but President Zelensky for Ukraine to put out a wonderful speech ahead of the passing of the bill. And they agreed to allocate $85 billion. 44 goes to Ukraine. And 40 billion for natural disaster recovery. And you know what is the meaning of natural disaster recovery? Is to buy US oil. They activated the strategic reserve of the oil when there's no acts of God, just to bring the price of oil down. This is what they call natural disaster recovery. That's the politics of US. So very clearly, defense and energy, done. And very clearly, the war will persist. Because if there's no war, They cannot spend this money, 44.9 billion. The war must continue. All right. So please read it with a very twisted mind. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that is the real market. Yes, the real market is like that. It's a very interesting one. So if this is true, then how will that affect our strategy, right? So this is the part we go back to our strategy mode, right over here, ding, 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 ding. And we come back to here. We say that, let's look at the mortgage rate right now. And you know, one of my friend who runs a mortgage business in the US, he's completely wiped out. He got no business last year and this year. So what he does is start traveling to different parts of the world. He met up with me in Dubai. Next, he's going to organize a trip to Greece, followed by Italy and to India. He's just spending his time traveling because no business to do for mortgage. Look at this mortgage rate. Okay? And you'll probably hit about 8 to 9%. Now, we come back to here. And you probably read about the job cuts that's happening everywhere from US companies, right? They took the first mover to kill jobs, to bring down cost. And when we say there's a job cut, what does it really mean? All right. So if you want to watch the link to this video, you can go to spi.ke/Washington Post. And this is how it happens in a job cut scenario.
Fred, you talked about positions getting eliminated. What are you going to do to protect people's jobs? Are they going to be treated like the magazine staffers were?
We'll have more information as we move forward. Thank you very much.
And how will these positions be decided?
So in a job cut, you just announce and that's it. They walk away. All right. So Meta, Amazon, Twitter, and all these great companies, they do nothing but cut jobs. And that's the reality in the market right now because they are given the reason to cut jobs. What's the reason? The mismanaged inflation, the mismanaged interest rate. And they say, oh, I need to bring my cost down. The heaviest cost is the payroll cut. How does this translate to you and I? That you got to be very, very serious in taking control of your own destiny. You know, sometimes when I organize this 2 days class and students step in late or they write us, oh, I need to do this, do that, I cannot come to the class on time. I say, you are not serious with money. You got to be very, very serious with money. And the reality of the market is like that, all right? If they kind of want to cut the jobs, they just cut the jobs. But if you have a skill and you have these initiatives, they say, I want to take control. I want to have a way to learn how to invest, not just for this season, to pass through this period, but for the rest of my life. Then you look at the game of investing very different, right? How many of you with me on this? Wave your hands. Yeah, you treat this game very serious, not like, oh, just another class. No, you treat it very different. And I always ask myself and my engineers, what else can we do differently on spiking to help all of you? What else can we improve? What other data that we do not have? You know, that's how we push our team, you know. It's like crazy. There's so many backlogs. So I've gone through this with you to impress upon you the fact that in Singapore, the Fed's higher for longer rate policy will eventually hit the borrowing cost in Singapore. And this was the latest finding. 2 in 5 homeowners say they face difficulties in paying their home loans. Survey findings show Singaporeans' financial health suffered this year with more reporting debt stress than in 2021. Right, that was an article published in December 2022. end of the day is, do we have a skill set that we can deploy and have the confidence to ride through this period? So I want you to start thinking very seriously about the 8 modules. We started with Cozy, we went up with War, Time Squeeze, and then FIAT, and we open up the question for you all to ask questions. And then what happens from this point onwards? What we do here at Spiking is one very important thing. I think we are a big differentiator in the market. And the thing we have done, I think that's helpful to the students, to all of you, is this. Every month, I do 2 times of meeting up with our students. We call it the Cozy Live Trading Event. Now, this is the flagship of what we have. Now, what we do in the Cozy Live Trading Event, we spend 5 hours together, twice a month, literally like every 2 weeks, all right? And every 2 weeks, I'll give you all an update, what happened in the past 2 weeks and what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. We keep connecting the dots every 2 weeks, right? And those of our students gone through with us 2 years, they say, wow, I learned so much. I want to keep continuing, right? So we are very, very blessed in the sense that we have students who like subscribe to our software for 5 years, 4 years, way out into the future. They say, I want to be committed to this learning because it has helped me in my business and in my career. You know, I got many really heart-touching testimonies. I have students writing in to us to tell us that, you know, teacher, because of this Cozy, I done well in a job interview. I could answer questions that shocked the interviewer, that I knew so much about the market. Another student will tell me, teacher, I was the only Asian in the team of expatriates because I know the stock market. I know what's happening in the US. I know the cutting edge. And that's the reason why don't look at investing as just, oh, must make this profit. You must look at investing as a time that you sharpen your psychology, a time that you say, hey, I want to be so ahead of my peer group. And I can give you this guarantee, you know, once you start investing, you'll be so far ahead compared to your peers. How many of you know that in terms of your knowledge? You'll be so far ahead. Within 1 year, if you're not promoted in your job, I'll be very surprised. When it comes to promotion, you'll be the first because you know more than the rest. That's the edge that you need to have. If you're running business, then you're looking at the best strategies out there, and you know, we got very, very serious with our business. I just share with you our journey. 2016 was when I first started Spiking. And back then was like, right after I finished my thesis writing for my PhD, I didn't rest. I finished writing my thesis in December 2015. And while I was writing my thesis, I kept a team of engineers to just brainstorm what's the holy grail that we can do on the stock market. So by the time I finished my thesis, they got excited. They say, boss, we found the holy grail already. And we're going to do this data on the insiders. And I launched Spiking without resting. And once I launch it, you know, we are funded by VCs. We are funded by taxpayers in Singapore under the National Research Foundation, Prime Minister's Office. We raised 3 rounds of funding. And let me tell you, the crude language of raise 3 rounds of funding means we burn cash. We burn cash to build a world-class product. So in between the years 2018 to 2021, they came and validate our results. And as a result, we won this Singapore's fastest growing company in 2023, right? So that's how serious we are. And, you know, this is only possible because we are able to deliver a world-class product. But the product itself must complement with the teaching. So now I'm going to show you this particular screen here On the left-hand side is our stocks AI. Please go and take your phone to QR code it, or you can visit the link spiking.com/cozy. Just go to spiking.com/cozy. Let's start with the left-hand side first, all right? Spiking.com/cozy. And I'm going to go to the page as well. And let me explain to you how you can benefit from this. Spiking.com/cozy. Spiking.com/cozy. COSY, right? So you arrive at this page here. One of the most unique part of our software and our training, which we combine together, is the 24 sessions of cozy live trading that you're going to spend time with me. Now, each session of the cozy live trading, I spend 5 hours with the students, multiplied by 24 because twice a month. That's 120 hours of continuous training for you. That's how serious we are. Now, I've not seen another company out there that's willing to commit this kind of crazy hours. This is like 120 hours of training. And spread out twice per month. So that we don't rush you. You don't need to be rushed one. You can see when I teach that time, I'm very, very relaxed pace one. I don't follow the script. Why? Because the market will keep changing every day. Are you with me right now? Yes? You learn best when you see this thing happen, boom, you apply it. You see this happen, boom, you apply it. That's how you learn, not by rushing you like 10 chapters, 20 chapters. You can't learn that way. So what I did, I spread out over 24 sessions in 1 year. That's twice per month, 120 hours. And then you will also unlock 12 months of the data that we gone through yesterday. Remember, we have two approaches. You either go in to study all the investors, the insiders, 200,000 of them, or you study the individual stocks one by one. Either or. So I'm going to go through you right now. Here we go. Today, when you join us in what we call this spiking.com/cozy subscription, straight away we waive off whatever you have invested in the 2 days training class. Your investment is $2,500, but this $2,500 we also make it very, very easy for you because you can choose the option of paying over 10 months right here. Literally, you are looking at only $300 per month spread over a 9-time payment. So we want to make sure it's very, very affordable to you on a per month basis. You're not stretched. You still have sufficient capital to set up your brokerage account. And you think of this like kind of attending a 1-year class together with us, $300 investment per month. Now, if you think this is like a lot of money, then of course, I don't know what else to say. You can think of it as an investment into yourself that you are updated 1 whole year. Now, what is the month today is this. I want to show you this. This is today, as of tomorrow, you will start February, right? And literally, you go through with me 2023 to 2024. And you ask yourself, between this 12 months period, what can you learn from the market? That's always what I ask myself. Between now to presidential election, November 2024, what can I learn from the market? I tell you what you will learn by spending this 1 year with me. Number one, you will see the turnaround of the terminal rate. This is a lesson that over the past 40 years, no one has seen it before. Because inflation has never happened so high before in the last 40 years. Not even in my parents' generation, all right? It's like crazy. They can't even remember it. They are growing up back then. But you will witness this year, the turnaround of the terminal rate. This itself is priceless, I can tell you, right? Number two, you will see the spending of $1.7 trillion. How this will infect and impact the stock market. And I'm all game for it. I think this is a thesis I'm working on. And most importantly, the one that I hope will not happen, but it may happen, is the start of a war. This is in my calculation. This 1 year, we're going to see these three things. In fact, we are in the middle of a war right now with Ukraine. And the war that I'm calculating is the China take back Taiwan war. All right? So this 1 year is going to be important. How are you going to navigate through these three important data points is what you learn this year. Now, what happens if the US mismanaged the interest rate hike? Instead of a soft landing, we are hit with a recession. Have you thought about that? This is what Wall Street is talking about. So why the language soft landing, hard landing? In fact, technically, we are in a recession already. But, you know, the politicians say, no, this is not the real definition of a recession because they're trying to cover up the inflation high and they're trying to justify the interest rate hike and all that. Fine, no problem. But what if there's a real recession? In any case, you got nothing else to do. How many of you with me? In a recession, you got nothing else to do. By the time you're hit with recession, then you start thinking about the future, it's too late already. Because psychologically, you'll be so depressed and you just sit around, do nothing. Now, I've gone through the era of the March 2000 lockdown. I dealt with people who just going through mental health. And how I turned that around back then in 2020 and 2021, I say, come, actively trade me. Just trade me. Don't do anything, just trade. Let your mind focus on something. That's how we tied through that period. That 2 years of lockdown was actually very tough for some people. They just couldn't handle a lockdown. But at least we give them something to do and they pick up a skill. All right? So that is what I can commit to you. And if you look at this journey, it's going to be important because why? Right now, for today, only for today, we have this offering of stocks premium membership annual that you can apply based on $300 per month spread over a 9-time payment. All right. So we make this, and we are not even like a credit card company. We just, by faith, by trust, that you complete this journey with us. All right. And what you get is everything listed here. And this is the part that I think last time I don't spend time talking about it. I want to be very clear so that my angels don't have to keep repeating the same thing to you. The stocks AI, there's 8 core products for you to invest with an edge and jumpstart your way to generational freedom. We totally believe in this. The spiking stocks trading courses. That means in future classes, when I do this 2 days class, you can kind of drop in as well, no problem. We can support you any way possible. Live trading with me, where I will meet and trade with you twice every month. That's called a cozy live trading event. And I'll teach you the master strategy so you can become a master trader, investor, and trade effectively. What is the master strategy? Where we trade according to what the seasonality of the market right now. So in Thursdays, cozy live trading, I'll share with you the defense stocks. I'll also share with you the energy stocks. You already seen the 1.7 trillion is allocated that way. It's so clear. And then, how about the other 800 billion, where will it actually go to, right? That is the one I'm trying to figure out. I think there's some flow of the money already. The telltale signs will be unveiled on the 15th of February, all right? So then you can come to the next Cozy Live Trading. The upcoming one is this Thursday. The next one will be on 16th of February, exactly one day after I done the trade through the night. So it's fresh for me. Those of you who couldn't join me in the trade through the night, the very next day you come for the Cozy Live Trading, I can share with you some of the notes as well, right? Then over here, everything, 12 months access, daily bread, resurrection, triangulation, 24 sessions of the Cozy Live Trading, wisdom of the greatest stock investor 2-day program, bonus. You also get access to our e-learning full access. All of our past courses is recorded and you can watch them. And as the race to 100 stock screener is also given to you, right? So everything is shown here. All you need to do, select this option. Now, some of you feel that, hey teacher, I don't want to think about the monthly payment. I just want to one shot set aside the amount and just start fresh. No problem at all. All right. You can also choose the one-time annual payment of 2599, and that's shown out there. So over here, you can either choose the monthly or the annual. All right, up to you. And then the rest of the steps you can just go through it. So I kind of explained to you, really the highlight for me in this 1 year's membership with us is the twice per month where I meet up with all my students. This is very, 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 very special. You can ask any one of our past students or existing students that I really spend time analyzing and preparing for the Cozy Live Trading. I spend more time doing that than anything else, right? Because that is also linked to my work in the hedge fund. Okay? So I explained to you on the Cozy. Then, for those of you who want a much more intimate relationship with us, you can also consider the coaching program. All right, so we have a coaching program. So you can take a QR code of that, or you can visit spiking.com/coaching, and I'll explain to you what that is. Some of you require the hands-on or hand-holding by me, all right? So we got quite a large number of students who took on the coaching program, and let me explain to you. So let's go to the page right now, spiking.com/coaching. Spiking.com/coaching, all right? Coaching found right here. Okay, here we go. So you heard me talking about the trade through the night. This is one of the big highlights. I will do 4 sessions of trade through the night with you. And this is the one that those of you who are time strapped, you say, I don't have every day go and do the daily bread. I just one shot every month, deploy 20 companies. Then this is very suitable for you on a quarterly basis. Why? Because we will trade on the best data. The best data is cooked, harvested, and presented 45th day after the last day of the previous quarter. So this can only happen 4 times a year. That is the best data. We are trading on day 1 when the data is out. Not day 2, day 3. It's literally the day 1. All right? So this one is extremely powerful. It also means that I have exactly less than 12 hours to prepare for the trade through the night. That's how fresh the data is. It will come in around 6 a.m. Singapore time. And then our class will start 1 hour before the opening bell at Singapore time will be 9:30 p.m. Singapore time. We'll trade from 9:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. Singapore time. All right, that's how crazy we are. We'll deploy 20 positions, right, because of the golden commandment, 5% golden rule, right? This will take place once every quarter. This trade through the night is the best data that you can ever get ready. Hot off the oven. Then another big value is the one-on-one coaching. So many of the coaching students love this one-on-one coaching consultation. And you will book a Zoom session with me, just me and you. Typically, let me tell you what are the typical things that students will ask me. They'll ask me for career help. Some of them needed a business network. Some of them asking me about family matters related to finances. Some of them ask me for help with bankers and lawyers. And I've been an entrepreneur since after graduation. And I've gone through a lot. I've gone through the valley of the shadow of death, the ups and downs in life, and I'm very, very blessed because I'm surrounded by very, very good people. The people I hang out with are like millionaires, billionaires, and they trust my work, even though they know about my past, right? They say, we know who you are and what you stand for, and you have our support. So through the years, I'm a beneficiary of coaching. My shareholders are my coaches, my classmates are my coaches, and my millionaire friends are my coaches. And what I found typically is, oftentimes when you want to talk to a coach, you start off with one idea. Oh, maybe I need help in this area. But through the conversation, you actually will be diverted to the real area that you truly need help on. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You don't always start off with the primary issue that you think you have, which is not the real core issue. So I've gone through that journey many times, and that's why when the students go on the one-to-one coaching consultation with me, they always end up surprised. Hey, actually, I didn't start off with this thing that I want to talk to you about, and end up we really solve the real problem. All right? And to you, the real problem could be your marriage, your children, your habit, your psychology, or in fact, most of the time, your inferiority, that you don't feel good about yourself, and as a result, you perpetuate in many forms. Sometimes also about your network of friends. And my teacher, Tony Robbins, taught us one very important lesson. The 5 closest people that you hang out with today will determine your future. So if you hang out with people who are always grumbling, complaining, bitching, your future is like that. If you hang out with people who are always thinking about, wow, I want to build taller, bigger, best, everything is the number one, then your future will be like that. And if you hang out with people who genuinely support you and want you to succeed, then your future will be a successful one. So I shared with you, this trip to Dubai is actually a very miraculous trip for me. 3 things happened to me. Number 1, I was told last year in December by 3 different parties, they told me to rest this year, R-E-S-T, rest. Say, Clemen, you should just take a rest. You work too hard already. Go and take a rest, escape from them all, and just take 2 weeks away. Take a clean break. And one of the pastors even gave me a vision that he saw me with horses running very fast. So he has a vision of a horse. So I decided to go to Dubai to take my rest. And because I was invited by a friend who threw a birthday party, and I say, okay, I want to go there and support a friend and at the same time take a rest. But the real rest is not the rest I was thinking about. It was actually a rest away from the daily duties of me as a CEO. In fact, I was busier than anything. Over 12 days, I took part in 24 high-scale events. I meet with all the important people, the bosses of the 2 stock exchanges in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And, I got my golden visa application done. I look at the properties and all that. And what is the outcome of it? I call back the pastor. I say, hey, did you see a horse or did you see a camel? Maybe the camel you think is a horse because I was hanging out with the camels in the desert, right? Yeah, so sometimes it's very, very strange when I relate this to you, and it's also to communicate to you that many times we just need help. And I hope to play that role of a good coach to you, to kind of help you see things from a different perspective. And we may start off with question 1, but end up with the real question that you needed to solve. So that is the importance of this one-on-one coaching. And this session, every session, I'll give you homework to do one. Like after we meet the first session, I say you got to do these 3 things before you can meet me for the second session. Then I know you're progressing and you're accountable to me. That is the true definition of coaching, all right? So over here, this is our very special coaching premium membership. Total investment after the discount of $99, $500. And again, we make it really affordable to you. You can think of it as $599 per month, all right? So this is your investment with a coach for 1 year, plus all the benefits I'm going to go through with you right now. So number 1, right over here, the one-to-one coaching session with me. Over 1 year, we'll deal with you progressively. If some of the students like meet me once a month, some of the students meet me once every quarter, depends on your needs, all right? And then this is the one that is, you are trading on the best data when it's just out. 4 sessions of the trade through the night. Physically, it's going to be intense. I have to prepare you because we're going to trade until 5 a.m. Singapore time, all right? Then, Wisdom of the Greatest Stock Investors Program, and of course, the 24 sessions of the Cozy Live Trading. And easily on the Cozy Live Trading, we do about 5 trades per session, right? And you will get access not just to the stocks, but also to the options and the crypto software, everything in. So earlier on, I talked about the fiat, I talked about the time, and I talked about the coin methodology, all right, all in here. And let's talk about the bonuses. So the bonus number 1, the $1 million trade, we are launching very soon already. Bonus number 2, the daily earnings premium. And bonus number 3, raised to 100. Full membership to the Spiking Insiders, Katie Wood, Warren Buffett, and Temasek. Everything in, all right? So this is like the full access to our data. And these are the dates that you need to lock down. The 4 dates for the trade through the night. Okay? So you're in time for this year. You join right now. It's a perfect timing. Everything will be done 2023. 15 Feb, 16 May, 15 August, 15 and 15th of November, all shown as per there. So let's go over here. So this is the one. You can go for the annual, or you say, teacher, I just want to clear off this subscription and I want to focus on building up the portfolio. You can also select the annual one-time payment, all right? So it's up to you, and everything presented right here. So I've gone through the description of this, and right now I want to open up one more round of a Q&A in case you have any question. Let me answer it instead of you guys asking my angels, all right? So any question on what I covered so far? So let me create a new one. Right over here. Do you have any questions on Cozy Live Trading plus coaching plus trade through the night? All right. So I put it out here and posting. And here we go. So give you 1 minute. Please go and ask any questions and let me answer for you live real time.
Guess you know what I'm thinking, but this was just another fight. But be careful what you're drinking, or you will end up like last night. Made it clear, don't you see? Made my move, don't you know? I can't stay here and wait for you. Made it clear, don't you see? Made my move, don't you know? I can't stay here, no, I can't stay. There's one real child, only love to survive. I'm hell of a storm, not everyone makes it out alive. There's one real test to prove you're in it for real. You see, I don't blame you for the way that you feel. But it's over now. Yeah, it's over now. And now it's time to feel the heat, like a child who wants to play. I feel it burning under my feet. I see the things coming my way. Made it clear, don't you see? Made my move, don't you know? I can't stay here and wait for you. Made it clear, don't you see? Made my move, don't you know? I can't stay here, no, I can't stay. There's one real child, only love to survive. I'm hell of a storm, not everyone makes it out alive. There's one real test to prove you're in it for real. You see, I don't blame you for the way that you feel, but it's over now. Yeah, it's over now. But it's over now. Yeah, it's
Okay, any questions? Let me do a quick refresh. And, one of my shareholders just texted me. He's the big boss at ticker symbol INFO. You guys go and check out ticker symbol INFO. Holy moly, this company is a monster. Okay, so here we go. Pinkett, if monthly payment is auto debit credit card, yes. So we use the Stripe system, and so what the Stripe will just deduct once every month. And if you need to change credit card or anything like that, just WhatsApp our angels, and our angels will help you with that. All right. So when it comes to payment, we are very, very protective of you. We want to make sure we can support you all the way through in this journey, because you are our best customers when you do well. So we will do whatever it takes to support you in this journey. For mailing, I already have this, I think. How do I book the one-on-one coaching, please? All right, so mailing, what you need to do very quickly, go and QR code, take your camera and scan the red color box. All right, and WhatsApp to our angels. Tell your angels that you need to book the one-on-one coaching with me, and then they will tell you how to do it. All right, so 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1. All right, so you please WhatsApp our angels and they will help you with that. Next, for Patrick, what is the cost if you only subscribe to the software instead of joining the course for this? All right, so it's still the same thing. All right, we don't like break it down a la carte, this kind of thing, because we found that even if I give you the software on your own, I'm not able to kind of make sure that you're updated. So we are probably the first company in the world that we wanted to integrate live teaching with the software subscription. So in a way, we are not like a purist of a software as a service. We always make sure that our customers, our students like you, are really well taken care of. Now, why? Why this is related to Patrick's question? Because oftentimes, what we discovered is this. If you are kind of left on your own and you're not communicating or interacting with a teacher or in a classroom settings like this, most often than not, you'll go to the dark side. And what is the dark side? And I don't blame students go to the dark side because, first of all, they're easily distracted. For example, the application of the software I taught you over yesterday, today we're going to go through round 2. But how you apply it will be different. Like, I mean, today we got one classic case. The company announcing earnings tomorrow. You entered yesterday. You thought that it was part of a strategy. This kind of sequential details can only be reinforced every time we meet. And don't think that you go through yesterday and you remember for life. Not possible. Because I taught through this for 22 years already. All right? It's in me, but it's not in you yet. So that's the reason why it has to be bundled together with our live teaching. So to answer your question, I mean, this is currently is together, right? Now, any other questions before we move on to the next part of our presentation? And I want to make sure it's all covered. All right, last chance. 3, 2, 1, I refresh. Okay, this part is done, and over here we also done. Okay, good. We covered majority of it. So time check right now is 9:50. We're going to go for our for our first long break. So we take a 30 minutes break. We'll be back here at 10:20 p.m. sharp. All right, 10:20 p.m. and then we're going to continue the live trading session. We'll watch the market opening, and today during the break time, take your time if you're watching first time the CNBC, all right? Because everything that I taught you in the class is very related to inflation, interest rate, and tonight everybody will be talking about tomorrow Fed announcement of the interest rate hike, all right? So please watch it. And of course, I've given you all the opportunity to ask me questions. Keep it fresh. When we come back 10:20, we're going to start the whole analysis and fire off the trades. Thank you very much. I shall see you at 10:20 sharp. Here we go.
Give back their gains. And we'll go back to believing in things like the mighty Dow, but not the flotsam and jetsam that's going up. So I think a lot of companies will be a little more like the stock of